Hello and welcome to the interview on France 24. Our guest today doesn't need any introduction. Her image has been seen all around the world. Ahed Tamimi, who has slapped an Israeli soldier. She triggered a tremendous wave of support following her detention. Hello.
Good afternoon.
From a detainee in Israel to a global star to a guest of honor at the festival of l'Humain, la Fête de l'Humanité. What a journey.
Yes, it's fantastic. It's great to be recognized as an activist for Palestine.
Did you expect such a hullabaloo?
No, absolutely not. When I was in jail, I was not aware of this wave of support. There was no way for me to know about it. And when I was released, I was shocked to see the amount of support that I received all throughout the time that I spent in jail. To me, of course, it's a great responsibility. Today, I am known as an activist that speaks in the name of a country. It is a great responsibility, but I was also released on parole, which means that I cannot be totally free. I can be arrested at any time.
The conditions of your exit from Palestine are difficult, but you made it.
Yes, the conditions were very harsh. I tried the first time to leave the country, but I was banned from traveling.
Where did you want to go? To Belgium?
Yes, in Belgium. But unfortunately, we were banned from traveling. But we tried again.
So this time, you enjoyed some support.
Yes, we received the support of France, and we managed to leave the country.
Good. You are calling for a peaceful resistance, but a slap, is it a peaceful resistance?
Well, to me, it is a normal reaction against soldiers occupying my house. These soldiers shot children, and these children are my relatives. And the soldier that I slapped had shot my cousin. He nearly died. And even though they hadn't shot my cousins, these soldiers were occupying my country, Jaffa, Haifa, Acre. So to me, any Palestinian response is a reaction against its occupation.
Your dream was to become a lawyer to defend Palestinians. Is this still the case?
Absolutely. I will study international law, and I will serve my cause by using international law, because today many conventions are not being enforced.
You belong to a generation, a new generation, who didn't experience the first and the second Intifada. However, you started your struggle as age 5.
Of course, I think any Palestinian starts resisting from birth. The simple fact that you exist is a resistance in a way. This fight is something that concerns us all. We are all fighting for our freedom as Palestinians. We live on our land and we fight against occupation.
Fight? How? How do you fight?
Well, we fight against occupation by staying on our land, even though the occupation is trying to kick us out. We want to keep learning as well. The occupation is trying to prevent us from going to school. They destroy our schools, they shut the roads that go to the schools, and they prevent students from going to the schools and universities. It also happens in our course textbooks. The occupation is trying to erase Palestine from our course textbooks. but we're trying to preserve the image of Palestine.
Is Ahed Tamimi politicized?
No, I'm not.
Are you affiliated with any political party?
No, I am not a member of any political party. I respect all political parties, but I am just a Palestinian girl.
Usually one doesn't ask a 17-year-old about her opinion on the efficiency of the Palestinian Authority. Should I ask this question? What would you answer?
Well, I respect everything the Palestinian Authority has done, but to me, the Palestinian Authority does exist, but the occupation is still there. There was no liberation. To me, we need to double our efforts to free Palestine.
You're a young Palestinian. What did you expect of the young Israelis of your age?
Well, I ask young Israelis to find their humanity back, to look at the truth, to think about the truth. They should fight against this brainwash. I'd like them to be aware as well about what's happening, to differentiate good from evil. But they need to find their humanity back. They shouldn't become victims of occupation. These young Israelis have been fed with hatred against the Palestinian people, but they are victims. If you have a young Israeli armed who's only 14 years old, well, that person is a victim. The person's been trained to shoot against Palestinians, but they are victims. But as Palestinians, we resist and we fight for our freedom.
What have been the circumstances of your arrest?
Well, the circumstances were very difficult. I was arrested at dawn at home. They pulled my hair. I did not get to say goodbye to my parents. The female soldiers did not let me get dressed. My jacket was on the bed, so I grabbed it. I put it on. In the police car, I was insulted. The soldiers pulled my hair, and they took me to detention center. I was interrogated till 1 o'clock in the morning on the next day. I was sitting on a chair, and there was no female soldier in the room during the interrogation. They lasted for 16 days. There were 4 series of interrogations, and during which my rights were violated. I didn't get to sleep. There was no relative by my side. I did not get to see a lawyer. During the interrogations, there were no female soldiers. They threatened to arrest my relatives. The interrogator told me, if you are not speaking up, I will arrest one of your relatives, but I exercise the right to remain silent.
What do you answer to those who say, why what happened with Ahed didn't happen with other Palestinian detainees of the same age?
Well, I think any person who's of my age is an activist fighting for its freedom. To me, there's a lack of media coverage. I was famous, and this is why I got more media attention than others. But here, I think there is an issue with the media. We need to have more programs that show the real situation of Palestinian prisoners, young prisoners. 350 Palestinian children are currently being imprisoned, and their detention conditions were much harsher than mine because some of them were injured before they got arrested.
What would you say to those questioning you, the fact that you sent a message to Hassan Nasrallah, the Secretary General of Hezbollah?
Well, to me, everyone is entitled to their own opinion.
Do you regret this message after the outcry?
No, absolutely not. To me, Hassan Nasrallah supports the Palestinian cause. He stands against the United States and Israel, so I agree with him on this particular point. But sometimes I can agree with someone on a given point, but disagree with that same person on a different point. But I'd like to thank him for supporting the Palestinian cause.
Okay, what is your watchword for a civic resistance? A watchword, a motto. Some say that you are the Gandhi of the Arabs at a much younger age. You are calling for a peaceful resistance, isn't it?
I call for people's resistance of any kind. To me, it's important for the people to be able to choose how they'd like to resist against this occupation. To me, there are different manners to fight against this occupation, to each their own. Some may choose poetry, others slapping a soldier, others might choose throwing stones or draw. I respect every type of resistance.
Ahed Tamimi, thank you. Thank you for watching this interview. Stay tuned on France 24.